3, 2.
Pizza.
we're just.
Oh, okay. We're good.
All right. Is it going?
Yeah.
Cool. Welcome to the Echo Cast. Here we have Baxter. How do you pronounce your name? Hosley?
Hosley.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got Baxter Hosley here, Echo athlete extraordinaire. Obviously, you guys already know who he is, but we wanted to give you a little bit more insight into various factors, various things that people have gone through. And I feel like there's some things that we don't get to talk about a lot, or that we don't talk about a lot because you can't really cover it in short form TikTok videos. So the thing that I wanted to talk with Baxter about today is his overall journey into the fitness industry. I get people asking me all the time, how can I get started? How do I become an influencer? And personally, I think if your goal is just to be an influencer, you're probably going to struggle because most people want that because they think it's an easy lifestyle. They think it's going to be less work, but typically it's not the case. Typically you have to grind. You have to treat it like a job the same way as anything else. But I want Baxter to give you some of his insight. His journey is much different than mine. So Baxter, from the time that we met, it would have been about 2 years ago.
That was, almost 2 years ago now.
I want you to give people a bit of an insight as to how you turned TikTok / Instagram, social media, from being something that was more of a hobby, just something you were doing for fun, into a full-time career.
Yeah, 100%. So it started after COVID. I was, or when COVID happened, I kind of started to gain a little bit more weight back. So a little bit of a backstory. I was overweight most of my life, like 90% of my life. And I started to lose it during high school, played sports, stuff like that. And then obviously high school ended. My senior year was actually COVID, so it was all online. Started to gain a lot of the weight back. And then I was like, man, this sucks. So when after COVID ended, all that, gyms opened back up. I started to get back into the gym, started doing all that, started to lose the weight again. And I started to actually watch people on TikTok. One was Marco, Jack Italian. I used to watch him. I used to watch a lot of Will Tennyson on YouTube as well. So I got a lot of my baseline knowledge of like dieting and stuff like that off of just TikTok and YouTube. And that worked very well for me. Like I made my first transformation, and that's how I really started my TikTok in general. I when I first started, it was just like what I was doing, like some recipes I was making to help me lose weight. Like I was doing a lot of flexible dieting, like making low-calorie pizzas, making like stuff like that, stuff that tastes good.
High protein.
Yeah, the high protein anabolic recipes. I got a lot of those from Will Tennyson and stuff like that. Some from like Greg Doucette, stuff like that. And I would just post what I was doing, like the recipes I was using for myself to lose weight and all that, and that really kickstarted it. Because then I finished my transformation. I posted transformation. I started to milk the transformation. I was like, this is what I did to lose the weight, and that really got me going. And then that was the start of that. That like I said, that pretty much kickstarted my whole TikTok career. One thing that I, before I forget about this, one thing that I did, every single person that interacted with me, I made sure to interact back with them. Like when people start and they start to get numbers, it's kind of hard to remember that every single one of those views is a person watching you. Like, and I made sure to remember that. I still remember that to this day. So I would be like, every single one of my videos, it would end with, if you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram. I answer all my DMs. That's literally what I would say at every single one of my videos. And I would answer every single one of my Instagram DMs. Like someone would help me up. They would be like, oh, how do you start losing weight or something like that. I would like give them some baseline. Like I wouldn't go like crazy, like give them a one-on-one coaching session, but I'd give them enough to where they could start up themselves and like, you know, what to do to get started. You know?
I remember the first time I met you was at the Echo meetup, and we went out bowling, and we were doing our bowling, and then you just kind of like went off to the side and you were just answering DMs. You're just thumbs, and I'm like, you answer every single DM, and you're like, yeah. Have you been able to keep that up as the growth has skyrocketed?
Yeah, still to this day, I have not missed one DM that I've gotten. I have answered every single one of my Instagram DMs, and I still do. I just did this morning. I finished them up.
That is absolutely
the reoccurring ones too, not just like the requests. I respond to everybody, like the reoccurring messages as well.
I used to try to respond to all DMs, but as because obviously my platform is very, very information based. Mm-hmm. They just piled up and piled up, and I was like, you know what? Comments, I'll try and like answer the more commonly asked things, in video format and stuff like that. But I can't even imagine trying to keep up with all the DMs.
That's one thing I always focused on. I always focused on putting as much focus on the people that are watching me instead of trying to just gain new people over over and over again. It's I just tried to give out as much knowledge and like retain the people that watch me instead of focusing on just trying to grow and get new people. I feel like for me at least it worked to where if I just hone down and like if new people want to like rock with me, they will, but I'm just gonna keep doing exactly what I'm doing and just focus on the people that are.
And I'm sure focusing on your audience has probably helped you a lot in the financial sense, because then people are going to be more willing and more apt to support.
Yeah, 100%. That has been. Whenever I got into like social media, my main focus was never really to getting sponsored and like making money off of it was going to be a plus. But I always tried to remember. Or tried to put my first focus as helping people first, like providing value information, if that's through entertainment or like actual info. Like I would always try to do that, and then in turn, that turns into people wanting to support you following a community, stuff like that.
I know for a fact that he isn't bullcrapping on that, because the first time we ever met, when I told him that he could turn this into a full-time career, that he could turn this into something that he did for a living, he didn't necessarily believe it. He was like, oh, maybe, I'm not sure. And I was pushing like, no, like this is something that if you continue to grow, you continue to put the time in, this can be a full-time job. For him at that point, it was just fun almost.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sure it's still fun, but it wasn't something where you were seeing it as this is my ticket to a whole lot of money.
Yeah, I feel like if you look at it like that, it's just never going to work out.
I feel unfortunately there is a lot of people that do view it that way.
I feel like most people view it that way, and that's why no one really succeeds in the industry. It's very rare for someone to be able to make a living off of doing this.
Well, they want to be an influencer because they know two things. They like money and they like gym.
Yeah.
And if that's your mentality going into it, the chances that it's actually going to pan out for you, next to none.
Yeah, 100%.
You have to actually bring something to the table. And in Bax's situation, there's a lot that he brings to the table. He brings his personal experience. He brings his ability to be there for people, helping them out. Good information. There's so much that people can glean from him, and it's not. And like he said, it was never about himself. It was about helping other people out. And the more you can make that your mentality and how you go about things, assuming you can also be entertaining in the process. Some people are wooden planks like myself, but luckily I have enough information to override that. But you need to be able to engage people as well, and that's where a lot of people miss out. So, what do you think is the next step for you in terms of? Are you going to stay mainly as TikTok and Instagram, or is YouTube going to become your main platform in the long run? Do you prefer the short form, long form?
To be honest, I just try to give I really like making short form content. I do like making long form content. I can't really predict which one is really going to take more of an override. I'd say probably short form, because not only can I push out more content, and then like it's easier to get information out. That's just where people are like honing towards anyway, just because everyone's attention spans are just so bad.
Right.
So I don't feel like it's going to revert anytime soon. So I think short form is probably where I'm going to put most of my attention. And then I'm still going to get long form out there, but that's probably where I'm going to be.
No, I don't think I've ever actually asked you this before, but how did you, at the very start, get involved with Echo?
It's a very funny story. So M's nephew, I didn't know it was his nephew at this time. He hit me up on Instagram. He was like, "Yo, my uncle's making a pre-workout. Do you want to try it?" And then
That sounds sketchy.
Yeah, it sounds very sketchy. So I was like,
My uncle's making a pre-workout in his basement.
Yeah, I was like, I think I'll pass, but thank you. I was like, no. But later down the line, I realized that it was M's. Like, I forgot how the connection was made. But a few months later, like when I started talking to M and stuff like that, I figured out that was his nephew. So that was a funny story. But how I actually got involved with M, someone, like a mutual fan, was in my live, and he asked me, he was like, "Yo, you should review M's pre." And I was like, "Oh, I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about it. I might have to." And then I think he screen recorded that and sent it to M, and M hit me up then, and it was like, "Oh, you want to try my pre?" And I gave it a review. It was 1.0. It was strawberry kiwi.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, that was still one of our best tasting pre-workouts.
Dude, it tasted
that
so
tasted
good.
really good.
Yeah, I mean the scoop was massive, so
Yeah.
I guess they had a lot more room to work with
Yeah.
for flavor. But yeah, that was a good taste.
1.0 was a very good pre.
Yeah.
And I was amazed because I never had anything like an Echo pre at that time. I was like,
Yeah.
So it was a.
That was
Very
the
surprising.
same for me. I didn't realize, because I wasn't really using pre all that often, just because I didn't really notice much of a difference. I was like, sure, there was a bit of a caffeine boost, but I could get that from anywhere. And then when I tried the pre, I was like, okay, well, this is actually hitting, like in a different way than just purely caffeine. But I wanted to make sure I wasn't placeboing myself, so I tried it multiple times before I ever reached back out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been an interesting journey, just with Echo.
It's been it doesn't seem real most of the time. How yeah, I don't know. So much has happened in this almost 2 years now. It's crazy.
And things just continue to keep happening.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable almost.
M has really brought together an incredible team, and just the overall atmosphere that he's brought together. I haven't seen anything like it. And seeing people come from other brands and then join Echo, and just the difference that they've seen in the brand itself and the way that it's operated. It's
Right from the beginning, I could really see how it was gonna end up, because M was just such a different dude. Like, he was so selfless. Like, he was literally like, I don't even know how to explain it. I'm so thankful for M at the end of the day. Like that.
well,
He did put together something special.
Yeah, well, I was with Fucked Up, but when people started reaching out to me about Echo, and after trying Echo, after meeting with M and talking with M, at that point I was like, I get it. This might not pan out in the end, but I have a really, really good feeling about this guy and where it's going. And one of, if not the best decision I've made when it comes to being, like, as far as general fitness industry stuff, because it's been obviously we're both down here in Houston now due to it. But is Echo your main source of income at the moment?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. It's yeah, by far. Yeah, by far right now. Yes.
Are you looking to is there any other areas that you're looking to go into in terms of coaching, writing up plans, anything like that?
Maybe in the future. Right now, I'm just focused on honestly just trying to grow with Echo and just put all my focus into Echo right now, and then obviously my content as well, and then we'll see where the future is. But it'll probably I do probably want to do some sort of coaching later on, but right now I'm probably just stick with what I'm doing.
I mean, you definitely have enough knowledge too, and
that's one thing too. Like I maybe I do, but I don't really feel right doing it right now just because I've been in the game for such a little amount of time. It's I don't know.
It's not a bad mentality to have. There's a lot of people that are going the opposite way, where it's the minute they do anything, like accomplish anything, it's like, oh yeah, I'm qualified to start coaching other people and taking their money and telling them what to do essentially, and it's not a good look. So the fact that you're going into it trepidatiously is actually a good thing.
Yeah.
It means that you're going to provide the best quality out the other end eventually.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I don't want to just start coaching just to give people like subpar advice or subpar results. I want to make sure I can put my that's one thing too. I want to make sure I can devote most of my energy towards it. If I'm gonna do something, I want to put a lot of energy into it. I don't want to just half-ass something, you know. So I want to make sure I'm completely ready for it, have them as much knowledge as I can before I get into it. So
No, that's completely fair. Is that one?
Oh, no, that was like you wrap it up. I was hoping you wouldn't stop.
Oh, it's all. Sorry, we'll have to trim that, right?
Let's just go ahead and say pizza again.
oh, pizza. Pizza.
And that is the cleanest way to exit from an interview, because obviously you're supposed to interact with the cameraman behind. But no, thanks for joining in, Baxter. and
Always.
we'll have you back. We'll have you back here to talk through some maybe some controversial topics.
We'll be back. Oh, we'll be back.
We're looking to bring in some other people and maybe make it a little bit spicy for you guys. So you're down for that, right?
Oh yeah. We'll see you again. We'll see you again. You already know.
Oh, it is the right word.
Let's make out.
Get